U.S. Navy?
Well, that's what they're calling it, taking, which they describe as maiming, harming, deafening, or killing. And the numbers keep going up, and we are talking about that kind of numbers. Yes, we're looking at possibly eradicating the whales and dolphins of this planet, and the reason is it's collateral damage.
Yeah.
I think there's more to it than that.
So do I. Yeah. So do I. But I have to ask you this, in all fairness, where did you get the information from?
Well, I do a lot of research because I've founded an organization called Save Earth's Oceans, and I'm working with researchers out in the field. And I'm also listening to other people there's an organization here in Los Angeles that is filing a suit against the Navy, and I just met with them today, and they gave me those figures. And I'm so embarrassed to tell you I don't have the exact name of the organization on the tip of my tongue, but I will by the end of the program. And they told me that it was $30 million, and I almost had a heart attack because I thought it was more like 12.
One of the stories I remember covering a couple of years ago were dolphins that were actually being trained to go into war zones wired with bombs for the military. Is this practice just limited to the United States, and is it still going on?
No, it's not just limited to the United States. In fact, we just heard now about the Ukraine, the war there, and how the Russians have taken the, read my lips, dolphin army from the Ukrainians and are going to be putting them into action for their own usage. So this is not indigenous only to the United States military. It's around the planet.
This is ludicrous. We're using other creatures on this planet to destroy other creatures, being humans.
We're using creatures like the dolphins, who are loving, joyous, incredibly musical beings with what I think is a higher purpose on this planet. And they're being strapped with, of course, nobody's admitting to this, so this is sort of like underground information, because the Navy says that they're being used to sniff out minds.
Right.
But there are also other inside sources that say that they're also being strapped up with bombs.
You know, I've had the opportunity of swimming with dolphins, and they are so intelligent, they are so loving, that it breaks my heart to hear that they're actually being used for this purpose, and to know that, all right, here's a bomb, go put it somewhere. It's a one-way mission. Poof, there goes a dolphin. But when we're talking about millions over a 5-year period of dolphins and whales, all in the name of war, testing war, and they're being considered as collateral damage, something is desperately wrong with this world that you and I are standing on, my dear.
I agree with you. I have to stay as much as possible in positive mode because otherwise I won't be able to proceed as an advocate and an activist for the animals. But I agree with you completely that when human beings, all right, if we can't get our act together and stop warring on the earth, that's a separate issue from the fact that we are now going to bring animals in to fight our wars. Animals that are loving, beautiful beings. Yeah. I agree that there's something very, very wrong on this planet, and that we have got to wake up as a community of global conscious people and absolutely initiate change. And it's a tough one, but we need to do it, and we need to do it very soon.
The sad part, Patricia, is that this is not the first time in the history of our war-torn species that we've used animals. Look at the horses that have been used in battle. Look at the camels. Look at the elephants.
That's true.
We're mean people. We are, we have no right claiming that we are the guardian of animals. We're not.
Well, of course, we aren't all mean, and we aren't all blind, fortunately, to this travesty.
Yeah.
But we've got to reach critical mass now of more human beings who are standing up and saying stop.
Yeah.
And I'm out here doing what I can to help people see this. And this is one of the reasons why I've written my first fiction novel, because up until now my books have all been nonfiction. I wanted to use fiction as a vehicle to be able to reach out to more people.
That is a very smart idea, because I have talked to authors over the years doing this show who have a message to get out there. They can't get it out in the conventional way, yet they put it in a fictional scenario, and the message is hit home. So
yes.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you. Where do you think dolphins fit into the evolution of this of this planet?
I believe that the cetaceans have a higher purpose on this planet, and that they're, even though we perceive them as joyous, well, when they're not fighting human wars, joyous, life-loving. Let's face it; it's pretty hard not to love a whale or a dolphin. They're so amazing.
They are.
But I think that they have a higher purpose on this planet, and I'd like to go into that if we may.
Why don't we do that when we come back from the news break that we have to take very shortly?
Perfect.
What was your inspiration for writing The Emissary? Was it because you had this information to get out, and you didn't think it would get out through the traditional means, and that you did it in the fictional, or was there something else that was behind all this?
Well, the book before The Emissary is called Before We Leave You, and it was a book of messages from the whales and dolphins, so I was already on that track.
Right.
And then one morning I woke up and said, it's time to write a movie. And I had no experience doing that. I looked up on the internet and looked up how to write a screenplay.
Right.
And bought the software, and I just was off and running. It wasn't really a conscious decision at that point. And other than to think, time to make a movie now. And it just poured out of me.
I'm glad it did. Stand by, dear. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. X-Zone Nation, Patricia Cori is our special guest this hour. She's the author of The Emissary, and her website is www.theemissary.net. That's www.theemissary.net. This is the X-Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. And we're coming to you around the world from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. On all social media sites, one simple address, X-Zone Radio TV, and our website, xzoneradiotv.com. And if you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. I'm Rob McConnell. We'll be back after the news. Don't go away. Are you considering calling a psychic to read your situation? Then consider David Champion, a psychic medium for more than 20 years with thousands of readings under his belt. David Champion will make you feel comfortable. He has proven to be honest and accurate. He's a straight shooter. There's no guesswork. What he sees is what you get. While he is a medium, most of the calls focus on relationships, not only love, but work, school, neighbors, and more. Need help with finding a job and preparing for the interview? Are you dealing with people who are obstacles in your path? For more information, go to davidchampion.com, $1.50 per minute paid by credit card with a minimum of 30 minutes. For your reading with David Champion, call 1-877-702-8598. That's 1-877-702-8598. Now you can dial in to listen to the X-Zone Radio Show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7, 365.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Welcome back, everyone. Patricia Cori is my special guest this hour. She's the author of The Emissary, and her website is www.theemissary.net. Now, Patricia, during the commercial break with the news, you were able to give us get the information about the organization that quoted the 30 million whales and dolphins that would be eradicated over the next 5 years.
Yes, I'm sorry, before I had a little brain fog. The organization is called NRDC. That stands for Natural Resources Defense Council, and their website is www.nrdc.org, and they're doing wonderful work. They are actually suing the Navy.
Wow.
So, yeah, they're really out there trying to make change that way, and hopefully we'll be making some progress here.
Another organization that has been doing a lot of great work when it comes to the whaling industry is the Good Shepherd organization.
The Sea Shepherds.
Sea
yes.
Shepherd, that's right.
I adore them, and I support them, and Captain Paul Watson is one of my heroes.
Yes.
And when we got the word last month that the High Court of the United Nations had banned Japan from whaling with the guise of research, because they're plucking whales right out of the water in these big ships marked research vessels. And the Sea Shepherds and Greenpeace have a lot of merit of that happening, but they would need to be remaining vigilant, because the Japanese will probably just find a new a way to get around that, call the ship something else. So vigilance, but days of celebration for the whale.
Excellent.
Those were good days.
Excellent. And once again, it's the Sea Shepherd. The Good Shepherd is an organization here in Hamilton that helps people. So sorry for the mix-up. Before we went to the news break, we were talking about dolphins, and I asked you, what do you think dolphins where do they fit into this world of ours, and what is their purpose?
And I'm delighted to go into that a little bit in depth. I really believe, and the basis of a lot of the work that I do is this. The whales and dolphins appear to be doing a lot more than just being beautiful fish out there or mammals. It seems to me that their music and their sounds are vital to the ocean, and that they are actually using those incredible songs and sounds to keep the oceans in some sort of vibrational balance. And I'll tell you why. The humpback whale, for example, has one of the most important and far-reaching sounds come from the humpbacks. They can do a melody that is 35, 40 minutes long without even repeating itself, which is a sign of something very intricate going on. And these sounds can be projected from half a mile to 500 to 1,000 miles away.
Wow.
Now, that precludes any kind of discussion of them just being using these sounds for mating or hunting. That is a long distance, and we know that nothing is wasted in nature, right?
Right.
So there have been researchers now working on understanding, are they relaying these sounds deliberately to species that are obviously not in their pods that far away for a reason? And what I'm hearing from researchers in the field is that we have, for example, musicians who will play songs into the water or nearby the water. The humpbacks will actually sing back these melodies to them. And then researchers, as far as 1,000 miles